Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 272 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition. And in this chapter, I'm going to show you a little idea I came up with on how I work smarter instead of harder. So if you want to see what that's all about, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, yes, isn't that the goal in life, to work smarter rather than harder? Well, we're going to take you outside a little bit today, and I'm going to show you what I did with my fuel storage on our yard here. Um, yes, we have the generator. I've got a garden tractor. Those are about the only two things I have on the yard that require a fuel supply. And I was getting tired of the system that I had. So I'm going to get outside there and I'm going to show you what that's all about. So I'm not going to explain it a lot in here. But you'll notice I'm sitting on the jointer. No, we're not going to talk about the jointer again. But I figured, since you guys had already seen all the mess in my shop on the last video, uh, I may as well just sit at the same place again, more or less, and introduce today's video. So with that in mind, let's head outside and see what I've been up to. Well, so how exactly am I going to make life easier? Well, you know, I have to keep some gasoline around the yard. We have a generator, as you already know, my lawn and garden tractor, and we blow snow in winter. So yeah, I need some fuel. I can't just hop on my stuff and drag it down to the gas station and fill it. So a few years ago, probably about 3 years ago, I decided I would get one of these Flow and Go things. They had the handle on it that you squeezed and it pumped. And I thought that way I didn't have to lift up 20-liter gallon or gas cans anymore. And I thought, okay, life's going to be good. Well, in theory, this is a really, really good product. However, the execution leaves a bit to be desired. First of all, after about a year and a half, yeah, maybe 2 years, the the nozzle, the pump went. So, okay, well, my Canadian Tire store here sells that. So I went and bought it and I put it back together again and I kept going. Life was okay. The other thing that's really, really atrocious about this whole setup is the hose that comes with it. It's stiff and non-flexible, and it's not really, it's rated for fuel, I'm sure, but it's not your typical flexible fuel hose. So I really didn't like it. But yeah, and they make another one now with a little electric pump on it that you just squeeze the nozzle and away you go. But I thought that thing in Canada here, I think at my local Canadian Tire or Princess Auto, is so, boy, I think it's around $250. So I thought, no, I'm not doing that. That just isn't worth it. The tank is good. So I just need to figure out a way to get the tank, the pumping part or the flow part of the tank working again. Well, I think I figured that out. So in the end, when the pump didn't work properly, I would basically just lift the whole thing, set it on the hood of my lawn and garden tractor, and just do a gravity feed. Well, I thought, okay, why can't I just do that all the time? Just make a stand for it where I can use it as a gravity feed device. So I did that, but I got thinking about it and I thought, well, jeepers, to lift this thing up, it's, I think, 13 imperial gallons, which has got to be around 100 pounds in weight. And you know what? I really don't want to lift 100 pounds that high. So did a little bit of thinking and I thought, okay, the end gate folded down on my truck. Uh, that height, that's what I need to make this shelf. So because when the tank is empty, then I'm going to load it on my truck and take it to my local gas station and get it filled. and then I'll bring it back and I can back my truck right into here. Now, I did make one little mistake and I'll tell you about it later, but in theory, I can back it into here and I can just move the tank over onto this ledge, bungee cord it on, and away we go. We've got a gravity feed. So I thought I had a nozzle for it, but it turns out I might, but as of shooting this video, I don't yet. So anyway, what I did is I basically built a stand for it. And that's what I thought I'd show you in today's video. Now, we're not going to do any build today because this is just cutting some 2x4s to length and a little bit of expired OSB plywood that I used and slapped a coat of paint on it, and away we went. But I'm going to tell you a little bit of the thought process that I went to, and we're going to show you that this on the weekend edition. Well, I can tell I'm doing this in the afternoon. It's ironic that just as I'm going to start shooting, my neighbor starts cutting their grass. But hey, that's the way it works when you shoot outside. So anyway, getting back to my little concoction here. I just moved the camera back a little bit so you could see all of it. Um, yeah, it's very, very straightforward construction. I didn't think it was worth showing you any of the build process because it does not get any easier than this. I just took scrap 2x4, in fact, from the failed lathe cart that I had. I tore that thing all apart and I used some of the 2x4 and a bit of the sheeting to put this thing together. So the overall dimensions, I'm just going to get down a little bit here. The overall dimensions, the thing's about 35 inches high. Now, I made a small mistake with the height when I calculated it, and I can change it yet if it becomes a problem, but um, I, I've got so much stuff in here, I can't back my truck in here enough to get the back wheels onto the cement. And actually, that's backing in too far anyway, because I'm working off the side of my end gate. So I can just barely get the back end of the truck in here, and the grade on the driveway is about 2 inches lower than than what I planned for. So this they don't quite. The truck's a wee bit lower, but you know what? When I backed it up for the first time and threw it on here, I had this thing full, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have to lift it. But what I did is I just kind of used my legs and and basically to pivot it. And all I had to do is tip it up. I didn't have to really lift it. And then I just slid it on, and it was easy. I could easily do it. Okay. So even though my measurements didn't quite work out exactly, um, it was fine. So this whole thing, the way it sits right now, is 35 inches high. If I were going to do it over again, I'd probably go down to about 33 and a half, but it doesn't matter. Um, the overall width is 20 inches, and I did that not so much for the Flow and Go, but I wanted to store my other gas cans in here as well. And I think I have another one like this lying around the yard somewhere. So I built space for it here. And then underneath, I have a 20-liter can. So for my motorcycle, for the lawn and garden tractor, I can fill from the hose here with the Flow and Go. But if I want to take fuel out to my generator, for example, I'm not going to drag it all the way over here. I guess I could tow it with my garden tractor, but in hindsight, no, I'm not going to do that. So then I need some portable capacity that I can carry a jug over there and go from there. So I've got enough for the generator in these two containers. I believe it holds 7 gallons. So I would have that here. But the overall depth here is 11 inches, I think. And I could have made it 12, but I had to be concerned about my clearance of my overhead door. So while I wanted this to fit my gas containers, it needed to fit here as well. Now, another thing that this has here is on this particular building, my grade beam is wider than the wall, which is normal, and the cement floor is about 2.25 inches below that. So it comes floor like this, and then it goes up 2.25, and then the wall. So, and I didn't want this thing sticking out that far because of this. So the back legs are 2.25 inches shorter than the front. So this is just the 2x4 is running like this. On the back, the 3.5 inch way is this way. And all I did to put it together is took 2.5 inch screws, and I basically did a pocket screw connection without the pocket jig. I just kind of toe screwed them. I've done that before, and it's plenty strong enough. For shelving, I just used some badly weathered OSB that I had lying around and cut it to size. I didn't even bother putting a 2x piece under here to support this because it's such a little shelf, it didn't need any. So, and then when it was all said and done, I had everything screwed together and it was the way I wanted it to. Then I just took some white paint that I had kicking around from, I think, from doing doors when I did the hall renovation this last winter. And I had a little bit of that mixed up yet in the container, and I just slopped it on. Like there's no uh, no care in getting color on here. It was just to make it white, and then that worked out. Just it's plenty good enough for what I'm using it for. Now the one thing I didn't quite get right, and again I can fix it if I decide to, it's tipping towards the door a little bit on top. And what I forgot when I did this is when I built this thing, I couldn't afford to pour the whole floor right away. So in order to put the garage door in, I poured about 16 inches of concrete here, and that actually has a bit of a slope going to the outside of the building. And then eventually I had enough money and I poured the whole floor. But there's a seam right here, or joint, or control joint, I guess it would be. And it's that's the only other thing that I came up with. I could shim it and straighten it or cut one leg off a little bit, but it's not worth it. It's just holding gas off the ground so that I can fill properly. So the other thing is, and once it was in place, I just screwed it onto the studs in the wall here. Yes, I did put pegboard on this wall. This was supposedly for garden tools, but I've had such a busy summer that I haven't kept up with cleanup in here at all. And it's just really terrible. Story of my life. I never get the cleanups done. So anyway, I thought I would that's basically what happened here, what I built. It's really, really straightforward. Anybody can do this. Any basic tools. You can build this all with hand tools if you wanted to. No big deal. But I think what I'm going to do yet today is I'm going to actually show you how it works. So I need fuel for the garden tractor anyway, so I'm going to set you aside for a little bit, back it in here, and show you how it all works. So I'll be back in a bit. Well, we're back. Sorry about, I've got you backlit a little bit, but I thought it would be easier for you to see what I'm doing with the gas tank of the tractor right here and the controls over there. So forgive me for that, but again, listen to what I'm saying, and maybe seeing me isn't that important. Maybe this is an improvement. But anyway, getting back to the topic at hand, what I wanted to be able to do was to have the tractor come around like this and pull out here and be ready to fill up. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see it. My son's trailer's sitting there, but I have to make this corner a little tighter now, but that's going to all work. Winter will be just fine. Okay. So then the overhead door goes open and I'm ready to go. So what I would do is open the gas tank first. And there is a little bit of a procedure to doing this, and I'm still learning it. In fact, yesterday when I played with this, I had gas running all over here, and Okay, yeah, that was a little bit of a nightmare. But anyway, there's a vent here that needs to be opened. And maybe what I should be doing first is let's take this guy. Now I don't have, I'm just going to make sure that I'm not spilling a lot of fuel. I just dribbled a little bit there, so I kinked it. It would be nice to have a nozzle on here, which I don't have yet, but I'm hoping that I can take maybe the two Stow and Go pumps that I have and make one that I can just hold and have it dispensed that way. If not, maybe I'll look at my favorite retailer for something else that I can use. So what I'm going to do with this now, I've got it kinked, but I'm going to put it in the tank. That way, if I do something out of order here, I don't have fuel spilling all over the place. And I think maybe that should be my first thing from now on, is to take that, put it in the tank first, and then open the vent. And there are two shutoff valves here, one on the tank and one on the brass fitting that the gasoline hose connects to. And I should just be able to do that. And it's running beautifully. Now, this hose that I have here, it's 5/8 gasoline hose. And I couldn't find any of it in Saskatoon when I was looking. Maybe I just didn't go to the right places. I ended up ordering it from Amazon. And the length that I got from Amazon was a bit longer than what this Stow and Go came with. So I like it because now, especially with the tank permanently mounted in a position here, I have enough hose to get out into my second driveway, which is really nice. Remember, it's about working smarter, not harder. So that has worked out really well. And you know what? I don't mind waiting for the gravity flow. The pumps, I don't need a pump. You know, it's $200 I don't need to spend. And if I'm wanting something to do, then I can just move the hose a little bit and, you know, check the oil if I want to. And yeah, that's still good. Oops. Yeah, that's what happens when you do too many things at once. You end up making a mess of things. So I'm just going to switch this off here. Yeah, I had to show off. I thought this thing was emptier, but anyway, I didn't spill too much, just a little bit. But yeah, the oil is good. That's all good, and we'll put the lid on the tank. Come on. Yeah. So isn't that amazing? You always end up doing silly little things when you really don't want to do those silly little things. Now I need to see if I can put the little extra in the hose here into there. Perfect. Okay, remember what I said that I needed to get used to all this yet? Well, that's true. So apparently, you don't check the oil when you're filling up gas from a gravity flow. Okay, lesson learned. But anyway, I think this is going to work just wonderfully. Once I get some of the little teething problems out of it, I think it'll work just fine. So anyway, that's about all I have to show you today. Let's take you back in the shop and finish this thing off. Well, the one thing you can never accuse me of on these videos is using something for a long time till I've got it all sorted out and then showing it. I pretty much show it as I come up with it. So yes, and spilling a little bit of gas there, trying to check my oil on the tractor while I'm filling. Okay, I probably won't do that again. That was part of the procedure that I talked about on the last video. And okay, I could have taken that part of the video out and just reshot it or done something, but I wanted to show it filling the tractor, and the tractor was full. So that meant I would have had to go out and mow lawn for a couple of weeks to get the tank down so that I could show that to you. So it just goes into the video as it is. And I don't know, I get tired of people who never make any mistakes when they do anything because they're not really progressive. So anyway, with that in mind, that's the weekend edition. Next week, we'll be back in the middle of the week with another safety video, and then the weekend edition, who knows, but that's a week away. I've got some time. So with that in mind, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget about the 1,000 subscriber Flying V giveaway. Oops, did I say that out loud? Maybe I didn't tell you what I was doing yet. I don't know, but anyway, keep subscribing, keep sharing, and we will see you in the middle of next week on the weekly edition. Take care.